Hi guys, welcome back. This is Sean from PlayByPause, and today I have a very interesting lens in my hand. This is the brand new Laowa 35mm f0.95, and apparently this is the very first full frame 35mm f0.95 in the markets. So let's check it out. This is not going to be an in-depth video, instead it's a hands-on first impressions videos because I'm so excited with it and I can't wait to share my very first experience with this lens. But not to worry, I'll definitely film in-depth videos, so feel free to follow and subscribe our channel so that you won't miss out the in-depth video. So there's quite a number of fast Sony FE lenses out there. There's Sony and Sigma 35mm f1.4, Sony GM 50mm f1.2, so on and so forth. But this is the very first 35mm full frame f0.95 lens, and it comes with pretty low price tags. It only costs $899 USD. So at first, it looks like the Laowa 33mm f0.95 APO crop lens, which I already talked about it, so definitely check that video if you haven't. So both of these Laowa lenses has a similar design. It comes with a very well-known blue rings at the front of the lens and also a very prominent yellow Argus logo onto it. The first thing that differentiates between these two lenses is definitely the weight. So when I first hold this lens, I can definitely feel the weight of it. It weighs around 760 grams, which is 20 to 30% more than the Laowa 33mm. Another thing that shows the difference between these two lenses is definitely the declick aperture features, which is amazing and lifesaver. It was so annoying when I'm using the Laowa 33mm because they don't have that feature, so I always have to look down at the aperture rings and make sure I didn't accidentally knock over the aperture rings without me even noticing. So this is definitely a great plus point that Laowa added this feature to this lens. So enough of talking, let's get outside and let's test out this lens in a real world. The f0.95 aperture makes this lens one of the fastest lenses in the market. But how good it is? Honestly, I believe most of photographers or videographers will probably be satisfied with f1.4, f1.8 or even f2.8. However, the aperture of f0.95 is in fact roughly 2 stops faster than the f1.8 or 3 stops faster than f2.8. This simply offers us several advantages. First off is definitely the shallow depth of field, which perfectly separates the subject and backgrounds, which is one of the wonderful things to have for a session like a portrait or even fine art photography. Next up is low light photography. The problem with taking photos in darker scenes is definitely lack of lights, and it's hard to achieve a correct exposure in a darker environment. And this is where this lens shines. You can practically shoot brighter than our eyes, which is insane. With a faster lens, you can also get faster shutter speeds, which means you can freeze action in a relatively dim environment without compromising your ISO. So thumbs up for that. When it comes to low price tags, I believe a lot of people might be saying that this is a cheap knockoff lens. But I can assure you that this is not the case. Even though this is not a perfect lens, but it produces some quality image out of it. While checking the photos in Lightroom, even shooting at wide open at f0.95, the image still sharps throughout the most of the image frame. The color and contrast are beautiful. It looks perfectly fine straight out of camera. Another thing I do notice is there isn't much chromatic aberration in the image. You can barely see any of it even zoom in 200% at high contrast area. In general, the image out of this lens does have an overall softness to it, but this is because of the extremely narrow depth of field at f0.95. So I must admit that I'm pretty amazed by the results. Optically, Laowa has held up pretty well so far. Let's talk about bokeh. Let's face it, that's the reason why you're here. So this lens produces some well-defined, creamy and clean bokeh. The out of focus area are very nice looking and fall off in focus to out of focus is pretty smooth. Personally, I think this is a great upper body portrait range. However, something to keep in mind, this lens has a minimum focusing of 50 cm only, which means you can't really do much close-up shots using this lens. Some of you guys might know I'm a hybrid shooter, so I shoot photos and video. But how does it perform in video, especially on a gimbal? So I filmed a few B-roll shots using this lens only, and let me know what you think. I must say you just have to be a little bit more creative with it when you're using a manual lens on a gimbal, especially without any follow focus systems. Anyway, this lens has a smooth focus rings, which is a big plus point for the gimbal use because you can turn your focus ring without affecting your gimbal. However, it isn't easy to pull focus and hold this lens on a gimbal with a single arm since it's a heavy lens. So I would definitely try to avoid any pull focus whenever it's possible, and ideally set a follow focus for a heavier system like this. Speaking about follow focus gear, Laowa told me that they are giving away free focus gear for early birds, so definitely check it out in their product page or social media. Another thing I realized during filming is this lens has a very long throw, which means I can't really do a fast focus pull from near to infinity with single turn. I have to rotate and move my hands second time during a full focus pull. This can be an issue if you do a lot of full focus pull. Video quality wise, it has more or less the same result as the photos we took. Pretty sharp at f0.95, smooth and creamy background which completely separates the subject and background. As you can see, I shot everything in an f0.95, so I have extremely narrow depth of field, so it's pretty hard to focus the subjects, especially if your subject moves a lot, but it does create some amazing results once you nail the focus. Unfortunately, due to the raining seasons, I couldn't show you any lens flare this time, even though we filmed the entire sessions during golden hour. It was such a waste, but we will definitely try our best to show you some lens flare for the next in-depth video. So that's all we have for today's hands-on first impression review on the Laowa 35mm f0.95. I'd love to know what you guys think about this lens and let me know in the comment section below. So as I mentioned earlier, I'll definitely make an in-depth review about this lens, so definitely subscribe our channel. And as always, create, learn, have fun. I'll see you guys in the next video.